Hi, I am Tiffany, and I want to talk to you about perception today. A ride can be fun, a ride can be bad. A ride can have its ups and downs, and every ride will. Let's take a roller coaster. Depending on how the person perceived that roller coaster, there are going to be two people ride the exact same roller coaster. One comes off and says it's the best thing in the world. One comes off and says, I never want to go on that roller coaster again. It is in the eyes of the beholder and the perception of the situation which will determine that person's happiness. Let's take death. I've worked with many people and I've talked to many people that in the same family, one person can see the death as, yes, it's sad, but I'm going to move on. And then another person can go into deep depression. No matter what happens in our life, it depends on how we perceive what happens that will determine our happiness. Like, for instance, when my brother died, I had a choice right then and there. Either continue to be sad and depressed or whatever, or live my life and move on. If sometimes in business, people lose clients and all of a sudden it's like, oh, life's hard, life sucks. Barbara Cochran says something I love. It's not a matter if you're going to get hit. It's a matter of how fast you get back up. And that's where I think true happiness comes from. Where you can take a struggle or something and look at what you can control and move forward. Daniel, can you give an example of a time where it was hard and you had to perceive it as a way to change your outlook on it?
I think it's a reality check when we have a situation, for example, like we lose a client or they say, hey, we're not a good fit anymore. And it's a reality check because we got to look back and say, hey, what are we doing that might be off? Or what are we doing to not take care of our client? Or what am I doing for this situation, right? Or we feel let down, or we feel like we let ourselves down, or we let our team down, or our business. And you're right. We have to look at it with the lens of, is this an opportunity, a learning opportunity? Okay. Or are we just going to repeat this class over and over again? We have to re-enroll until we learn the lesson, right? Until we come back and, hey, figure out what we're doing. But we have the choice to respond. We can choose how we want to respond to every challenge or every difficulty that we face, whether it's a personal situation with your relationship, with your marriage, with the child, parent-child relationship, where they're struggling or they have a temper or they have mad. We can choose how we can set the tone and how we can respond, and whether that's a positive response and, hey, let's see what we can learn from this, or whether it's a negative and you go downhill and you become depressed, or you become focused on the negativity, you become focused on the mistake. We're here on earth to make mistakes. We're here to learn. We're here to be tested, to be in a situation where we can go through struggle. It's through struggle that we are able to grow.
As we talked about perception today, I actually, in our team meetings, I got on. I don't always am able to get on, but today I did because I wanted to talk about perception. Because for the next 2 months, everybody that has a meeting, we've asked them to look inward and say, what can I change of myself to be better? What can I do better? But a lot of times in human nature, when someone asks you to look inward and say, what can you do better? They take that negatively and they go, oh, that means I got to be doing something wrong. That means it's a negative. No, it's actually a positive because you're looking at what you can do better and you're learning and growing from it. So if we can change the perception, instead of saying looking inward is negative, say, no, this is where I can learn and grow, then all of a sudden you can change your world to become a lot better. Don't look at something negatively. Look at it as a positive. It doesn't always have to be a negative and positive connotation, but look at how you can learn from something and how you can grow from something. Your perception on that changes everything. And it also creates happiness in your life. When you look at what you control and what you can do, your entire perception changes.
One of the most memorable quotes that I remember from my experience serving on a mission in Russia for 2 years, my mission leader, my mission president, used to share with all the missionaries repeatedly the AA, Alcohol Anonymous prayer. Okay, it says, God, Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.